What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So we just got done with the Square Enix press conference. Really, it was just a presentation. Someone pushed play on it. Um, but one of the big bright spots in it, sort of tucked away there, was a new platinum game that's coming out called Babylon's Fall. Um, the trailer looks sick. We're gonna watch it again. We're gonna have a look at it. Then we're gonna kind of sort of have a look and maybe try and get something out of it, and maybe just our hopes and dreams of what it might be. But I'm a big lover of platinum games. I love it. Bayonetta, freaking Nier is amazing. Then you also got like Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance and stuff. Like the fighting in those games is amazing. The combat stuff, like the stories and all that, are over the top and insane. I love it. So very interested in what this is going to be. So let's have a look at the trailer and then we'll break it down and all the rest of it. Okay. So let's have a look. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. So there's like all these dates at the start. I remember that. So let's have a look at this. The Helios Empire. Helos Empire. CE 5000. The Age of Dawn. The Oversoul. What's the Apocalypse. Wayland's Journey. There's like freaking blimps and stuff. World War. Divine Punishment. I'm gonna have to slow this down and really look at what each ones of these are. Scholars of Cain, maybe? War of Benefits. Rid of Soul Plague. New World Academy. Punishment. Awakening. Those guys look so cool, man. Like, look at that fur, man. Look at that fur collar. Love it. He's like a guardian or something, man. Boom. Woo. Led by nomads. I'm gonna have to slow this down and have a look at all of it. Babylon's Fall. God, they look so cool. Developed by Platinum Games. That shit. PS4 and Steam too, so not on Xbox. At least PC. Alright, so we gotta really kind of break this down and have a look at this trailer, like slow sort of thing. Because I think it's trying to tell a story as it's going through. Like it's sort of doing the timeline. So I don't think this is like historical or anything like that. Like maybe they're taking things from different people, from different things, but I think they're just kind of like making their own like sort of fantasy world, which is cool. The Halos Empire is the first thing we kind of see like on the map. It's sort of this sort of like forest area, Halos map, and then we had CE 5000, I think it's Common Era 5000, Discovery of the Oversoul. During Albanland's era of expansion, its people discover an unknown energy known as the Oversoul. So it's got that same red energy, that same red magic that that knight at the end had when it came out the back of his helmet and grabbed that sword and freaking sliced that guardian guy looking guy in half. Like that was cool. So that I think is the magic of the game. I think that's the power thing. So that's cool. Has that same light, has that same sort of look to it. Then moving on, we got CE 5017, the Age of Dawn. After years of experimentation, the Halos Empire succeeds in developing weapons that harness the Oversoul. So they sort of got swords and stuff. So maybe that like they infuse them into their weapons and all the rest of it. So clearly, this Halos Empire is that rising power in the world. Thing in the Badenwald Forest. And I don't know if that's an army there or something, but that's cool. There's the Age of Dawn. CE 5034, the Oversoul's prophecies. A small group of seers hailing from all kingdoms where crystallized Oversoul fragments predict the future and write down these prophecies in the Epheum book. I can't really tell. It's very blurry. So they're prophesizing things using it. So this is like a very like all-purpose like magic. So that's interesting. CE 5088, the apocalypse. The seers have visions of an all-consuming darkness. So that's like, okay, you have this big power, but you probably doomed yourself. All right, so that kind of sets that mood of a very dark and sort of like even a little bit like Dark Souls type vibe of it. That's cool. CE 5098, Wayland's Journey. By the order of the Hellos Empire, Wayland, I can't tell exactly what that is because it's a little bit blurry. I think it's maybe like sets off to the Dirklands. I think it's Dirklands. In the far south. Foretold by the Ephesus book as the location of mankind's revival. So they see a prophecy, like you have to go here, you have to see what it is. And that's where maybe they can beat this apocalypse or something. C 5109, the Soul Riots, with resentment rising against the ruling class over its use of the Oversoul, riots break out amongst the masses. So they're having problems. C 5110, World War. So the world kind of goes to shit. As the rulers of each kingdom turn against their respective populaces, the riots escalate into a full-blown war. So you got civil wars and shit going on everywhere. So you have the poor versus the rich and stuff. Like, okay, that's some insane shit right there. That screen, by the way, with it like a full war going on with the knights and the swords and stuff. Like, that's what I'm looking forward to. I think is like melee combat type thing. Like, if it's got that type of thing with magic and all that too, it's gonna be cool. C 5200, Divine Punishment. Disgusted by humanity's unwillingness to learn from its past mistakes, the elder gods unleash their wrath upon mankind. So there's like gods stuff too. Like there's actual like so like actual these gods looking down and seeing like freaking typical mankind like messing up again, kind of like starts putting their wrath on us. So it's got that kind of a little bit of biblical thing to it, but it's got a bit of mysterious stuff to it as well, bit of magic and all the rest of it, which is kind of cool. CE 5205, Birth of a Goddess. With the purpose of rescuing humanity from the brink of extinction, the new goddess was born. I think that was called. So that's like a new goddess. I think that new goddess was called Gaia, because this is what it says at this next one. CE 5208, Birth of a New World. Gotta Hafen. I think this is this new place. Gaia creates a new world in order to give humanity one last chance. So maybe that's like that tower or something. Maybe. So that goddess that was born, I think that's Gaia. CE 5220, Age of Harmony. Humans begin to inhabit the new world, and a period of peace follows. So they get this. It says underworld. So she's created this like under the earth type sort of like underworld thing, and it looks pretty cool. It's got like all these bridges everywhere and stuff. It's got very gothic looking, but then like there's buildings upside down and all that. So it's got like it's sort of kind of I don't know. It's super cool. Like I like how they're doing that. How like there's these buildings on the ground and on top. Like I dig that. I dig that a lot. It looks quite cool. CE 5338, Scholars of Gaia. Concerned about people losing their faith in Gaia, the High Priestess Darius forms a consort known as the Scholars of Gaia. So that are people like making sure like, hey, Gaia saved us, like, you have to worship her type thing. I see 5356, War of Beliefs. Unable to overcome the ideological differences, the Scholar of Gaia and the Helios Order start engaging in frequent skirmishes. CE 5347, End of a Dream. The public execution of a non-believer by the Scholar of Gaia creates tension among the masses. So this sort of perfect little harmony world is now cracking under all this pressure. It's interesting. All the ideological pressure. C 5385, Spread of the Soul Plague. The unexplained outbreak of the Soul Plague prompts different factions to capitalize on people's fear and expand their efforts on converting the masses. So it's like almost it's turned in from an actual physical war to a religious war. So they're going through the throes here. Um, like the sort of last chance that humanity has, and they kind of messed it up. Which is very typical us, I guess. CE 5430 New World Academy, fearing for the future of mankind after rediscovering the Ephesus book. The Sia Maria forms a New World Academy amid a rapidly worsening war. So they sort of they find this book of prophecies and stuffs again, and I think they go back into doing that stuff again to sort of like prophesize stuff, I think. Um, that's cool. And then CE 5450 Punishment. On the day of judgment, Gaia turns against mankind and wipes everyone out. By the looks of it. So that's interesting. So, because I did see kind of at the end, near the end there, like Gaia was like in that tower thing, maybe. And CE 5464 Awakening. Deep within the Shrine of Souls, the Nomads are born. So I think that's our heroes. That's our characters that we get into, and maybe we get to choose different ones or something, or maybe we spec into different things. Just because I saw 4 there, which makes me think this could be like co-op or something. But they look badass. They look so cool. And then obviously that fight is cool as well. You see like that sort of oversoul magic that he uses, like it slowly comes out of him. I love to look at the knight's armor and stuff, like that nomad's armor with the freaking fur collar and all that. And then yeah, they just basically like freaking rips the dude's arm off and then uses his own sword to cut the guy in half. It's badass as hell. Then CE 5500 Rebirth, led by nomads, humanity strikes back against Gaia. So it does show 4 there, but maybe it could be just like, they're the nomads. They're like the pinnacle of humanity. They're the leaders of them. They're like the only ones that can go up against these sort of, these gods. So maybe there's not 4 of yous going and do it, but hey, I'd be all about like a sort of co-op type adventure type thing there. But it could just mean like this group is going up against them and you are part of that group. So the fact that there's just 4 there, I think maybe doesn't potentially mean that it's gonna be 4 players in that way. But I'd like it. I think it'd be quite cool. And then by the looks of it, it's like this giant tower. It's a very tall building. I don't know if it's like the Tower of Babylon or something. It's called Babylon's Fall, so you'd think it could be that way. But yeah, no, the like reading through it and seeing like the different story and how it built up and sort of the world they're creating. I don't know, it makes me even more excited, especially when you start thinking about, okay, they've got this sort of story in place, where they can do some crazy stuff with it. Especially when you're adding like god stuff in and like ancient wars and magic and stuff like that, and then you adding in Platinum's fighting, the combat that's normally really good, especially with stuff with melee and range combined and stuff like that. That looks really, really cool. And also looking at this last sort of screenshot, you see the sort of 4 different sort of types. You sort of have the knight we saw, like I think he's going to be like the more stock standard maybe. I don't know if these are classes, but then you have a more like tanky looking dude, like really buff, like really big, and sort of has that tank look to him. Then you have like a mage type character, so that could be the ranged or maybe supportive. And then like a more like thiefy rogue looking one with a dagger type thing. Looks more like a rogue type on the right there. Look, this is all speculation. This is all me just getting like maybe a little too into it, but it's a Platinum game. I love them. They're super cool, and I don't know, the look of it You know, the style of it, the sort of, you know, it's got a little bit of Dark Souls to it, a little bit of medieval, a little bit of gothic. Like, I'm digging it a lot. I'm digging this a lot. It looks badass. Um 2019 this game. 2019, like right at the end of the video there. I almost didn't catch it actually. I was like thinking like, oh man, this game's so far away, but then like I kind of realized like, oh wait, this is actually 2019. So yeah, hopefully we get more on this game, like at least this year. Like, Square, you need to get Square plat, please. Like something. I'm actually really excited for this game. Like, this is one of the games that, like, of this E3 that's really, really caught my eye. I don't know why. It's a very small amount of actual moving trailer. Like, I know it's a cinematic and stuff, but I think just the aesthetic of it really gets me. But 2019, guys, like, I would say this is gonna be late 2019. I think this is about a year away or more. But yeah, I just want to see more of it. Let's see what it's about. See what it actually is first. I guess, but it's nice to be excited about a game, and it's Platinum, and I have faith in Platinum. Yeah, it's cool. Cool. I mean, like, what type of game it could be? I mean, heck, it could be anything. It could be anything. It could be a hack and slash. It could be action. It could be a team based. It could be Destiny like. It could be dungeon crawling. It could be freaking how. It could be a freaking mobile game. No. Um. It could be anything. It really could be anything. It could be more like Dark Souls. I would like a Dark Souls kind of spectacle fighter. I'd dig a Dark Souls sort of spectacle fighter type hack and slash thing. Yeah, so a faster pace, but with a Dark Souls feel to it, with you know, badass bosses and stuff like that. Especially when you're talking about gods and all that. Like, hell yeah, hell yeah. But yeah. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for us. Thank you very much for watching. We're all over E3. We'll be doing a whole bunch of videos on it. There's a ton of stuff up on the channel, so go have a look around, see if you can see anything you like. We've been doing specific games that really catch my eye as we're going through the conferences. And then obviously I can only do so much with the time constraints between each conference. Then we're also doing wrap up stuff too of each conference itself. So if I do miss a game, check out those conference wrap ups. I'll probably talk a little bit about it. Not so much detail, but a quick wrap up of those games. So have a look around. There's not just gaming, there's movie stuff too, there's TV stuff, all the rest of it. So if you like, hit that subscriber button. Really appreciate it. We are kind of a smaller channel, so every subscriber is really important to us, and that's awesome. And yeah. Alright guys, I'm gonna catch you later. Peace. Bye.